Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about your self-confidence. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a thinker because let's be honest, this is what we need to think about. So, I have a special guest here who's going to help us think about this in a manner that hopefully it will resonate with you. You know what I mean? So that we can really think about this. So, Natalie, thank you so much for coming on to my show, sharing your time and perspective on this topic. Let's go ahead and dive right in. What does confidence make you think about?
Huh. So let's think about it. What a great title. Mitzi, I'm super excited to be on your show. This is going to be fun. So, confidence, I know people say, well, I'm confident. Of course, you're confident. However, things are going fast. People have to juggle with multiple challenges all at once. And very often, the decisions that you make are worth thousands of dollars. So, it's important to have access to your best self all the time. How many times do you come back home and think about something that happened during the day and say, oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have said
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh, I was
Mm-hmm.
not my best. Or you were really good all day smiling at
Right?
everyone. And your boss is asking, are you okay? Oh, yeah, everything's good. Everything's
Mhm.
fine. And then you're
Right?
really good all day. Then you're home, you're cooking dinner, you're thinking about the bills you have to pay and all this stuff. There's so many things in your mind. Your daughter comes behind you and she says, hey, mommy. And you turn around and you go, what? And you're like, oh, this is not my best self. This is
Yeah.
not how I wanted to react. So, what happens in our mind is very important. And if we don't control our mindset, it's our mindset that will control us. So, it's very important that we have access to our best self so
Yeah.
that we can be confident. So, there's 85% of people that lack self confidence in at least one area of their life. Because even though we're
Absolutely.
confident in one area, it doesn't mean that we don't have any problems in another area, that we're not confident in another area. And because we only have one
Absolutely.
brain, we carry it around in every area. So if we don't leave our problems in the parking lot when we get to
Yeah.
work. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very, very important that we think about it.
Exactly, exactly. It's about knowing what's going on in your mind and filtering it out and just taking that moment for yourself to reflect. You know what I mean? Just really just reflect in the moment because if we really want to be our best selves and step into that confidence, then we really have to acknowledge what's going on in your mind. So I love that you brought that up because most people don't acknowledge that fact and how it links together, you know? And I think one thing I'm learning about confidence, it tags along with courage. You know what I mean? Because confidence and courage, they tag along with each other and they help each other. So it's like you got to remember if you have courage, then you have confidence. No doubt. You got it. So it's just one thing I was hoping is what can you tell us that has helped you develop your confidence?
hmm So really, it all comes to the way we talk to ourselves, right? So
Mhm.
you don't talk to people like this. You don't tell them, "Oh, you look terrible today in those jeans. Oh, you're starting a business. It's never going to work. You're not good enough." Like we don't talk to people like that. But very
No.
often, that's the way we talk to ourselves. Like nobody would want to be our friend if we talk to them the same way we talk to ourselves. So
Yeah.
let me bring you back. I had just moved from a small town outside of Quebec City. I'm in Canada,
Okay.
and I moved to Toronto, big city. I'm French speaking, so I don't know if you've been in a situation where you're brand new, you don't know anybody, everybody's so much better than you are, and you're super intimidated. So I started working in a gym,
Okay.
and how do you go from begging your boss from pulling your classes from the schedule because there was only two people coming to my classes to then becoming fitness instructor of the year for Canada less than a year later? I'll tell you what happened. The gym was introducing a new dance program,
Okay.
and I've danced in the past, so I put my hand up to be part of the demo team. So picture yourself, you're on stage, you're in front of 150 instructors. They're all much better than you are. You're super intimidated, but you're giving it.
Right?
And you know
Doing
you
it.
got it because you
Mhm.
can feel all the faces turning towards you with a shocked look on their face because they didn't know you could dance like this. So I don't know what it did for you, but I started strutting around in the gym. I started having so much confidence. My class became packed. I became the queen of the gym. A few months later, somebody corners me and says, Natalie, I have to tell you, we really started respecting you after what happened to you on that day. You acted as if it didn't bother you at all. And then I'm like, what? What's she talking about?
Yeah.
Mitzi, it turns out that I had a wardrobe malfunction that day. Boom, my boob was sticking out during the performance. That's why
Oh,
everybody was looking at me with a shocked look on their face. Of course, when she told me, I wanted to disappear, but it was too
yeah.
late. I was already the queen of the gym because in my head, I was responding to a different story.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what happens. What happens is the story that you respond in your head. And you can
Absolutely.
face anything when you make the right story in your head. And that's when I realized, oh, that was over 20 years ago. And I thought, I need to figure this out because I was a personal trainer, fitness instructor, nutrition and wellness specialist. I've written 18 books, and my first books were on nutrition. And then I realized it's not because I give them a better kale salad recipe or a better way to squat that my clients
Yeah.
are successful. It's because they're changing their mindset. So, how do I
Yeah.
do that? So, that's when I decided to study neuroscience, study the brain, study the 6 layers of the brain that need to be addressed in order to make a change. I wanted to know how do
Yeah.
you how do you change your mindset? How do you control the story in your head? Because I realized it was very important. So that's what
Mhm.
created really this whole the past 2 decades speaking on confidence, neuroscience, brain, and all the turn off the panic button related
Yeah.
topics.
No, I can understand with that with your testimony, that brings so much into perspective, because it really just shows like, okay, the other people from the outside, they had one perspective. They were seeing it from one perspective. And Lordy, oh my goodness, I would feel so embarrassed too. But
And I
how would
was
I know?
all
I
sweating.
would never do either. If I was in your situation, girl, I would have never, I would have been like, ooh, ooh, oh yeah, I'm doing it. Like, moving and grooving, be like, okay, so I must be doing something right if everybody's looking at me. So I absolutely agree with you because it's like, how are you gonna take it now? And the fact that you were like, what can I do about it now? It's already too late. It's the day's already done and over with, and you came about this to me later on. You could have stopped me, you could have approached me, you know what I mean? But the fact that you didn't, and now I'm here, days later, years later, and now I can acknowledge the fact that, you know what? It didn't destroy me.
No.
It did not define you. And I think that's one thing is that when you talked about what is the story in your head, we can allow our embarrassing moments to define us. We can
Mm-hmm.
allow our fears to define us. We can allow those slip ups or those accidents or those failures and have it define us. And it's like, no, what is your story? What is the truth that that you're gonna put against those lies that you are telling yourself? And I think that's one thing that we all need to think about and we all need to learn is like, what is your truth? What I mean, is that something that you had to put with against your story?
All the time. The way that um, you want to picture your brain, because we have a logical mind and unconscious mind, and people live at a logical level. Your logical
Mhm.
mind can handle 5 to 9 pieces of information at once. That's cool. You can go grocery shopping at the same time, then you're on a meeting on your phone while you grocery shop and you grab a can of soup on special with one hand, you keep your 2-year-old from falling off the cart with the other hand, and still you can look at the guy at the back of the store that's checking out the girl in blue in the seafood department. You do all this at the same time, right?
Yes.
Multitasking, we're good at that, but 5 to 9 pieces is not that great after all. Have you ever noticed, let's say you're going to a new address, it's a beautiful day, you're driving, music is on, and then you get closer to the new address, you slow down to look at the numbers on the houses. Have
Yeah.
you ever caught yourself having to lower the volume on the radio
Yeah.
to look at
Hmm.
the numbers on the
I
houses?
know.
Because 5 to 9 is very quick, right? You have the foot on the
Hmm.
brake, the foot on the accelerator, the red light ahead, the kid that's about to cross the street, the lady that might cut you off, and then the dude in the car next to you, look, winking at you, whatever. So
Yeah.
when you add looking at the numbers on the houses, the music becomes the one too many.
Yes.
Living at a logical level is not that great after all. Living at a logical level is like always being behind schedule. So let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to build your business, you get up super early, you do your affirmations in the morning, you do meditation, you prepare for good meals, right? And then you have to take your kids to school and sport in between your meetings. You have to post on social media. Oh, you need a podcast. You need some online courses. And then you come home at night, you're exhausted, but you have to take care of the kids and school and bath and all this. And you had decided to get back in shape. But you haven't used your gym membership in 3 months because after all of this, Netflix and a bottle of wine sounds a lot more appealing. So it's like you're trying to go to California, but you're in an aircraft that's flying to New York City. You're trying to go
Yeah.
to Halifax, but you're in an aircraft that's flying to Vancouver. You can work as hard as you possibly can, but you're never going to
Mhm.
get there if you stay in that aircraft. So
Mhm.
a lot of people ask me, okay, well, teach me, how do I get off the aircraft? Well, you don't get off the aircraft because I'm talking about your brain, so you can't really get off the brain, right?
Yeah.
So instead, talk to the pilot and tell the pilot, hey, do you mind turning around? That's where I want to go. Imagine how much faster you're going to get there because the aircraft is so much more powerful and fast that
Yeah.
imagine once the pilot is on board or how fast you're going to get there. Your
Exactly.
unconscious mind is that other part of the brain that I want to talk about. Instead of living at a logical level, use the unconscious mind that can handle 2.3 million pieces of information every second.
I
So
know.
instead of 5 to 9, the unconscious mind processes 2.3 million pieces of information every second. That's where the power is. It's like you have a little personal assistant in your head with a
Mhm.
notepad writing down everything you say or think and makes it happen. The problem is, Mitzi, people wake up in the morning, they look at themselves in the mirror and they say, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm gaining weight. So then your personal assistant writes it down. Tired, stressed out, gaining weight. Okay, tired. Oh, I'm going to keep her awake all night. She's not going to be able to sleep. She's going to be really tired in the morning. Check.
Yeah.
Stressed out. Oh, I'm going to make her delete a very important appointment in her calendar. Ooh, that's going to be stressful. Check. Gaining weight. Oh, it's easy. I can find a chocolate bar or French fries. Check. So your personal assistant is constantly making you write about what you say and think and makes it happen. So you have to be very careful what you tell your personal assistant. So stop this trash talking, stop the negative self talk because your personal assistant is going to take this and make it happen.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that analogy. That's so visual. Oh my goodness. When you were saying it, I could just imagine it and it was just adding all up. I could just see it. And then let me just tell you, it makes sense. Oh my goodness, how it makes sense. Because one thing I'm learning and I'm trying to teach myself is, and trying to remind myself is, your words have power. You know what I mean? And when you put in that analogy, it illustrates the powerful effect that your words have, especially in the morning. So it just shows like if you want life, if you want love, if you want joy in your life, you want peace, what are you telling yourself? What is that internal dialogue? What are you telling yourself inside that you don't speak out to the world? Because that there's a lot of internal talk that we have that we don't discuss with people because we're afraid, but it's like, why don't you work on that? You know what I mean? Why do you work on the inside of that? And then you start when you speak your words, it'll come more fluent so that your little assistant, it's like, oh no, we in our head we already talked about love, so let's continue with love. Oh, we already talked about peace, then let's continue with peace. And I love that analogy because now I'm like, okay, my little assistant, hurry up and come here, let's write down some good words. You know what I mean? I could put it in a more comical sense so that I can start enjoying this part within myself. And I think that's beautiful, and I thank you for this because so many people need to have this type of perspective to make it more realistic, make it more understandable and relatable and comprehensible so that they can be like, you know what, I could figure out a way to put this in my life. You know what I mean? If I have to just control my words, well, then start with one word. You know what I mean? Instead of using the word hate, replace it with another word. Instead of using the word frustrated, just use another, you know what I mean? Just use different words that you know that trigger you,
Mhm.
with your little personal assistant. Oh my goodness, I love that. Oh my goodness, I really do love that.
There's
I just feel the difference already.
there's a way though to talk to the personal assistant. I'll tell you why. A lot of people do affirmation.
Hmm.
You're familiar with it. It's very
Yeah,
popular. The problem with affirmations is that they don't work if you don't believe them. There's
exactly.
very often way too big of a disconnect between
Hmm.
the affirmation and the reality. So let's say I work with my clients in deep financial struggles and they are way overhead in debt. And I say, okay, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am rich. The
Yeah.
personal assistant is like, no, we're not. What's going on there? Oh, we must be watching a vampire movie. Vampires don't exist. I'm not writing this down. It's way out of whack. Or if I
Yeah.
work with the Think Yourself Wealthy program with clients that are really overweight, I'm not going to say, okay, smile and say, I am thin. The
Yeah.
personal assistant, no, we're not. What's going on? So I'll give you a technique to talk to your personal assistant because we hear 70% of our thoughts are negative. Yes. So
Mm.
50 to 80,000 thoughts per day. That means 31 negative thoughts per minute, right? So,
That's a lot.
whoa. So every single time you
That's a
hear a
lot.
negative thought in your head, here's what you do.
Hmm.
Two-step technique. The first step is you repeat that thought you just heard in the past. Okay. So you just hear yourself, oh, I'm so stressed out. So
Hmm.
step number one, you say, oh no, you catch yourself. What did I just say? I just told my personal assistant I wanted to be stressed out. Oh my gosh, I was on Mitzi's podcast and there was this French Canadian girl, Natalie. She said that I was going to tell my personal assistant that I wanted to be stressed out. So what should I do? Step number one, talk about it in the past and repeat it. I used to be stressed out. So now your personal assistant be like, oh yeah, stressed out. I have this on my list right here. You're talking to me. Yes, I'm paying attention. Now, what are we talking about this in the past? Are we done with this? Do I scratch that up or what? Perfect. Now
Mm.
we go with step number two. Step number two is a progressive statement. A progressive statement starts with I am willing to learn or I'm in the process of. So I'm so stressed out. Oh, wait, I used to be stressed out. Now I'm willing to learn how to change that. How to
Hmm.
change that fits with about everything. Or you can
Yeah.
go more precise. I'm willing to learn how to build a balanced life. I'm in the process of getting more calm. I'm in the
Hmm.
process of learning how to say no. So,
Hmm.
whatever it is that makes you stressed out, you talk about it in the past. I used to think I was bad with technology. Now I'm
Hmm.
willing to learn where it is I have to click, right? Or I'm willing to learn how to change that. So, I used
Yeah.
to be bad with my finances. And now I'm willing to learn how to manage it and be in charge. I'm willing to learn how to budgetize or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Now I'm in the process of. So you repeat it in the past. I used to
Yeah.
feel that I was overweight. I used to be overweight. And now I'm in the process of changing that. Now I'm willing to learn how to live a healthy lifestyle. Now I'm willing to learn how to crave healthy food, whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? So you
Yeah.
use a two-step technique. I used to in the past, and now I'm willing to learn how to change that.
There
Yeah,
you go. I like that because it really adds it in together because it acknowledges the past, but then it allows you to step into the future. You know what I mean? It allows you to step into the unknown because it gives you compassion within yourself that you're working on it. And but it also gives you gratitude that you know of the past experiences, but you know that as well that you're grateful for just being in this moment to test this opportunity to do better, react better, move better, whatever the case may be. So I really do see how this can really help people develop their self-confidence, develop their just life. Because once you change the way you think, you kind of make a ripple effect around you. You know what I mean? So it really
yeah.
does have a big way to resonate with somebody. So with that being said, I know time is catching up to us. What can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking?
Maybe the one thing that we need to remember is that there's always a few steps towards um, towards doing something.
Yeah.
Whatever goal that you have, the first step is always to know what you want. And most people go to step number three right away. They
Yeah.
try to implement this new thing in their life. So they have a goal. That's the D of my DNA system for desire. And then the NA, the third part, is to actualize it. So let's say you do a kitchen renovation, your first step, you're going to make a folder with all the layers that you want. People make that list, right? Or the vision board, and then they know
Yeah.
what they want, but they're very good at the first step, right? So you
Yeah.
make this folder, you put some samples, you want these cupboards, this countertop, this backsplash, this hardwood floor. But this is not a kitchen. It's a folder full of samples. You cannot invite anybody in that folder. It's not a kitchen. So what
Yeah.
people do is they try to install the cupboards that they want in on top of the existing cupboards. They try to
Hmm.
put the countertop over top of the existing countertop. That's step number three, to reinstall the new kitchen. It's never
Yeah.
going to work because
Yeah.
everybody misses step number two. You need to gut out the old kitchen before
Yeah.
you can reinstall a third one. That's what I do. I do one on one with my clients to get rid of negative self talk, limiting belief, bad habits, anger, fear, hurt, sadness, guilt, past trauma, everything that old luggage that you're carrying around that is not serving you anymore. You must remove that to make room to install the new cupboard and your goals. So yes, do your vision board and your list and your objective and your goals. It's very important. But then you can't start implementing them until you identify what's in the way, what's the old stuff that I don't need anymore, and get rid of the stuff in your closet before you buy some new clothes. So
Yeah.
make some room. And that's the number one thing. That's what I specialize in. Most coaches are accountability coaches. They will see you for months and months, and then they'll say, okay, did you buy the
Yeah.
broccoli to put in your salad? And you will need to see them every week for a year. And that's not what I do. What I do is I go in step number two. Let's look at your goal. What is holding you back? And let's get rid of that. It's like 3, 4, sometimes up to 8 sessions. It was a big trauma, and it's over. And then my job is for my clients to not need me anymore as fast as possible. So I would love to work with you and your audience.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. I love your perspective, and I loved how you described it as like a renovation and how you can't miss those steps because it is very crucial. The way that you can put things into a story, I love it. I understand why you write books and I understand why you are trying to help people because you have a gift within you. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad that you're trying to help other people and you're serving others with this because you're renovating people's minds. You know what I mean? Because how you would renovate a house is how you got to renovate your mind. And people don't realize that they get stuck. They get stuck
Mhm.
at one and then they jump to three. And it's just like, wait a second, wait a second. Something's discombobulated, something doesn't fit in. And I think that is something that we are all forgetting that there's steps to this and we got to be patient with ourselves. We got to give ourselves compassion and we got to find the right people to help us. You know what I mean? And when you find the right people who are there to sincerely help you, those are the right people that you need to connect in your life. And I think, Natalie, you are a great person to connect with. And I hope somebody in my audience can really resonate with this. And if you want to know more about Natalie and all that she has to offer the world, because how could you not? I'm telling you, how could you not? So please check her out. I have her lovely photo on my website where you can have access to her website. Just click right there, right under, and you'll find all the greatness that she has to offer the world so that you can keep on thinking. So with that being said, bye.